I'm sorry.
Where are you going?
See, I just asked him any trips, so you got one coming up.
Oh, it's free admission to the football game, so...
If you get there beforehand.
Yeah, so that's what it is. It's the dads and the kids come to the football game. I guess that's the whole program. I didn't get any of the information.
Yeah, okay.
Good evening. Tonight we have a full school board meeting, but let's have Gilbert Mosqueda, Jr. at Carter High School, lead us in the pledge, please.
Thank you, President Montes. Please place your right hand over your heart. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, President Montes.
Thank you. We go on to report out of closed session. Dr. Avila?
Yes, we do. The Board of Education accepted the request for an extension of a leave of absence for classified employee number 1119725, September 8th, 2015 through December 18th, 2015. The roll call vote was unanimous.
Is that it?
That's it.
Do we have a motion to adjourn closed session?
So moved?
Second?
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Closed session is now adjourned. Now we go on to open session. We'll be starting at 7:16. Do we have a motion to adopt? Well, before we do that, we need to make a correction. There was a typo or error in the minutes on page reference E 1.2. I believe that's page
4.
Page 4. That's reference E 1.2. Under the first bullet on the report out of closed session, it should read, accepted the administrative appointment of Monica Garcia as middle school assistant principal at Jehu Middle School by unanimous 5-0 vote. The word assistant was left out of the minutes, so we're going to be correcting that. So if you'd like to go ahead and make a correction on your individual agenda, if not, it will be fixed on the minutes. And with that correction, do we have a motion to approve the agenda as corrected?
So moved?
Second, as amended.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next, we go on to comments, public comments from the floor at this time. Any person wishing to speak on any item not on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Do we have any speakers, Dr. Avila?
Yes, we have 4. First, we have Gilbert Mosqueda.
Oh, we're coming up as a group because we're from the same topic. Okay. Okay. Good evening, Superintendent Avila and members of the board. My name is Carmen Martinez from Rialto High School.
My name is Gilbert Mosqueda from Carter High School.
And my name is Alberto Bojorquez from Eisenhower High School.
Last Friday, we had the opportunity to be on the interview panel for the selection of Rialto Unified School District's next student board member. While there, some questions came up about the requirements needed. It was suggested that we alter the requirements to allow first-year ASB students as well as the rest of the senior class to be eligible to interview for this position as long as they have exhibited a leadership office in another club or organization. We have all agreed that even though ASB is a leadership class, that does not mean that other clubs or organizations do not meet leadership expectations. Leaders such as Sakuna, who was a student board member and was not in an ASB class, are being excluded for this opportunity. Why should we exclude the rest of the school and only pick from a certain leadership class? The principal at Rialto High School, Mr. Ayala, told our ASB class that we as leaders are here to serve our student body. We are all here to serve, whether it be our community, district, school, or students.
Not only as an ASB student, but as a student alone, I feel that it is not right to restrict any student to be a leader in his or her school. I feel if we are able to give each student an opportunity to be a leader, they will feel more part of the community and feel as if they were able to be a part of this school and really feel as a leader. ASB student is not the only way. Leadership can be found as a captain on a sports team, leader in a youth group, leader in a club or organization on campus. Overall, we are asking that all seniors at Carter High School have the opportunity to apply for the position of a student school board member. Therefore, we are asking for the qualification leadership to be better defined.
I would like to add that no student shall ever be excluded from an opportunity. You never know what a student is capable of. A student should be defined as a leader even if they're not in the club that is necessarily ASB. ASB stands for the Associated Student Body, which at my school is considered to be all 2,500 students on campus. No student shall be denied an attempt to be a student representative for the school just because they are not enrolled in the ASB class. Other clubs and activities, sometimes even outside of school, are considered to have leadership characteristics. Therefore, every student shall be granted an equal opportunity and shall have the right to attempt to become a student representative for their school. Thank you so much for your time. We all appreciate it.
Did the three of you fill out speaker cards?
Yes. They did.
Okay.
And next we have Katie Bench.
Hi, my name is Katie Wrench, and I'm an ASB student at Carter High School. I wanted to discuss trying to add a couple of food fair days to our high school calendars. We're aware of both Ed Code and our wellness policy and completely understand why they exist. What we'd like to ask are for a couple of days throughout the year where we could offer food that is not SB 12 compliant and use it as an opportunity to fundraise. In the Chaffee School District, the schools have a food fair once a semester where each club takes pre-orders from vendors for example, the soccer team could sell Chipotle and the science club could sell In-N-Out and so on. This brings in the community and lets them know about our school. And we would be communicating with nutritional services so they don't over-order or make too much food for those days.
By doing this, this will allow clubs to be more recognized throughout their school. This will be a great opportunity for every student to really get a feel for their school and really feel connected, really feel excited, because as a high school student, you come and you're obviously going to have money to purchase items. But when you introduce a school food fair, it introduces new ways to fundraise, which is very hard to fundraise nowadays because of all the rules and requirements. So if we do make some if we do modify this rule, then it will really allow us to really notify each student about different types of clubs, notify different businesses so they could link up with our school and really notice our school as a community and really join forces. Thank you.
Dr. Avila, could you please look at that and bring a recommendation to the board?
I think your microphone's off, but
It's on.
Hello. It's just low.
Yes, I made a note.
okay. Is that it for not on the agenda?
That is it for not on the agenda.
Do we have public comments on agenda items? Item 2, any person wishing to speak on any item on the agenda will be granted 3 minutes.
We do. We have one. We have Mr. Russell Silva.
Good evening, board members, administration, and viewing audience. My name is Russell Silva. I'm here to talk about reference item K 2.1 on the middle college program. We've all heard the phrase, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. When I had a daughter in high school, back in the early 90s, she heard of this program that the college offered in which we could get her introduced into some college programs at a minimal cost, because it would only cost us books, it would only cost us insurance because she was on the campus, and we would have to take her there and do it so she can participate in the programs. That became an investment in not just money but also time, because we had to take her there, pick her up, pay for some of the stuff. But under the new program, they're bringing it to the kids. So they're bringing the water to the kids. So they have to hire somebody to dig a hole. You have to hire somebody to lay the pipe and fill that pond in hopes that the horse is going to drink. But that's not a guarantee either. So basically, there's no investment on the student's part or on the parent's part to make sure that the student is going to stay active in that program. So if the student decides that I no longer want this, or I don't like it, I don't like the students, I don't like the teacher, or whatever, they can simply just walk away. But there's a loser there, and it's RUSD, because they already paid the fees. And the fees are based on the curriculum being done and the students that are attending. So I'm not here to say that I'm not in favor of it, because I am, to a certain degree, in favor of it. I like the aspect of providing additional opportunities for children to reach out and grab that additional education and propel themselves to the next level. But I want to make sure that the program is set up so that what criteria do we have for the students to make sure that they're really going to take advantage of this? I know it's set up for your higher achiever students are going to do their thing, and they're going to go out on their own and push themselves forward. This is kind of geared for those ones that are in the middle, that can't quite push themselves, can't quite make it the financial opportunity or investment to do that. So what's our criteria to make sure that those students are going to stay vested in this program? So I understand that this is in San Bernardino, and it's successful in San Bernardino, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee it's going to be successful here. So I'm not, like I said, I'm not a proponent against it. I just want the administration to be cautious about pushing forward on the program, because if it doesn't succeed, I don't want the administration or the school to beat a dead horse that doesn't want to drink any more water. I want it to be a positive thing for them. So just kind of be cautious on how we proceed. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Silva. I believe that was it.
Yes, sir.
We go on to item 3, comments from Association Executive Board members. Do we have anyone here today from Rialto Education Association, REA, that would like to speak?
Good evening, Dr. Avila, School Board, Cabinet, and viewing audience. My name is Lisa Lindbergh, President of the Rialto Education Association. I ran down the hall. I just wanted to let you know that tonight we had Rep Council, And we meet the last Wednesday of the month at the Sizzler in Rialto. And we approved our budget for this year. And we set aside quite a bit of money for professional development for our teachers this year. So we've planned for a bunch of them to go to the Good Teaching Conference South, which is in Los Angeles, in March. And we have some going to a leadership conference next month in Palm Springs. A group of us is going to a conference on leadership at the Queen Mary in November. And I just wanted to share that the union is more than the union. We are very concerned about professional development and doing good things for students with what we learn. And my second thing is, I saw on the board agenda that Mr. Islam has presented for board approval the payoff of the last retirement incentive. And I have to give it to Mr. Islam. He's always saving money, and he looks like he's going to save the district $153,000 in interest. Kudos to him, as usual. And my question is from Rep Council, since this latest one is being paid off, the retirement incentive, what is the chance of another retirement incentive being offered for this year? I have been asked to ask, and I said I ask every year, so I'm asking. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Lindberg. Next, we go to California School Employees Association, CSEA. Okay, next we go to Communication Workers of America. Okay. Last but not least, we go to Rialto School Managers Association. Alrighty.
What is tonight?
Right.
Wednesday. No, I think it's the heat. Everybody's too hot to talk.
Next, we go to comments from the superintendent, and I hope you will not be passing up the opportunity.
Actually, I have quite a bit.
Oh.
And as mentioned previously, I have continued to visit schools. Last week, I continued to visit schools, but now I'm actually visiting classrooms. I visited Fitzgerald, Curtis, Morris, Garcia, Simpson, Kelly, and Casey elementary schools. Last week and this week, visited all the classrooms with the exception of those classes that were either at lunch or at recess at the time. I did loop back to several of those, but I did not have the opportunity to visit absolutely every individual classroom, but I would say 95% of the classrooms at every school so far I have visited. Tomorrow I plan to visit Myers, Henry, and Dunn, and we'll continue to visit the elementaries, the middle schools, and the high schools over the next 3 weeks. And it's extremely inspiring to see the magic that has taken place where it is supposed to, and that is in those classrooms. Also, on August 13th, I met with the Cal State San Bernardino President, Dr. Tomas Morales, and Vice President, Dr. Brian Haynes, to initiate conversations on expanding the district-university relationship and increasing the number of Rialto students that enrolled in a four-year college, especially at San Bernardino. And you may already know, but Rialto is the second largest feeder to the university, behind San Bernardino. On August 20th, I, along with members of the district's Putting on the Ritz Gala Committee, were invited by Mayor Pro Tem of San Bernardino, Mr. Ricky Van Johnson, Councilwoman Virginia Marquez, and San Bernardino City Unified School Board Vice President, Dr. Margaret Hill, to present at their Education Bridge meeting. City and district leaders in San Bernardino would like to bring this Fine Arts Gala to their city, and they've reached out to our team for advice and suggestions on how they can get that program started there. I also would like to thank and congratulate Associate Superintendents Mrs. Jasmine Valenzuela and Dr. Ed D'Souza, who is not here with us today, on their fine efforts in leading the district's phenomenal LCAP committee through the cathartic planning process. Our LCAP was officially approved by the County Superintendents of Schools on August 20th. And on the legislative side, Governor Brown is expected to sign SB 725, which will waive the KC requirement for all students from the class of 2015 who have not passed the KC test, since Casey is no longer administered, students who have met all graduation requirements except the Casey will receive their high school diploma. And 2 calendar events. Dad's Night Out is this Friday, August 30th at 5:30 p.m. at Eisenhower High School. And middle school back to school night is September 2nd from 4:30 to 7. It varies from school to school, but the earliest starts at 4:30. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Dr. Avila. Next, we go to item 5, comments from members of the Board of Education. And we will begin with Mr. Joseph Martinez.
Thank you, President Montez. Hope everyone's air conditioning is working. It's been hot and humid. I don't need to tell you that. And I think our speakers kind of roundabout way told us that by not wanting to come up. Okay. Tonight it was a very positive entrance here in the respect that someone from the community named Joel Green from Curiosity Quest came by, and our students will be involved in that program. Don't know a whole lot, but that was very positive news. And that points to, I like his t-shirt. It said, "Be the difference." And that, I found that inspiring. Just one little line, and that's a positive message we can all learn from. Dr. Avila, thank you for allowing Facebook and press coverage for our students, our scholars. It's been a long time that I've been looking forward to it. I've heard wonderful things about everything that's going on, as I've told you personally, and I want the public to know I've heard nothing negative, all positive. And I like that. And I guess you are being the difference. Thank you. I was very pleased with our ASB reports. The request, and I found them, all students, to be well-versed, well-spoken, and appropriately doing their elected jobs. And I just love to see that. Think about school board sometime. It's in the future. It's not too hard. Talk to any one of us. We'll be hard to, we'll be able to share the pros and cons. And there's a lot of pros. There's many, many rewards. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez. Next, we go to Mr. Joe Ayala.
Thank you, President Montes. Good evening, staff and community. I'll share a few words tonight about the old three-legged stool. You take one of the legs off the stool, you know what happens. And those legs represent our parents, our teachers, and our students. And so I try to usually share some words of wisdom that maybe will keep the train on the track, so to speak. And so tonight I just wanted to share with you what does it take to be happy? Because you know, this is not going to be a dissertation or anything, but when you think about it, you know, if a child is fed, he's off to a good start. He's got a full stomach, and sometimes, you know, we forget that we're running out of time and then send them out the door. But at least send them out the door with something, because when they get to school and if they're hungry, guess what's going to be on their mind? Okay, so what else after the child is, or the adult is fed? Well, we all need shelter. And so in our rooms, you know, you got to pay attention. If there's no airflow, if it's too hot, if it's too noisy, you know, our environment has, you know, it is conducive to learning, to pay attention to those basic things that comfort people. And sometimes just paying attention to those things can make a huge difference. All right, so we move on to the next level. And, you know, even a small child, if it is not hugged and embraced, probably won't survive. Okay, so we all need at all levels. You know, whether you're in the rest home or you're in a classroom or, you know, you're just down in the dumps. A pat on the back, a little hug. It is risky when adults touch children, but you know, for many times when we got a little pet, little kitten or a dog, first thing I did was pull the ear a little bit, pull the tail, pull the ear. Yeah, they scratch back, but after a while they're conditioned. It's not like they fear you anymore. You're not hurting them. So as the child comes through that door, good to see you, a welcome. You're not hurting them. And I know some people think that's a no-no, but we all have different ways of dealing with how we share with another human being that they mean something to us. So, you know, whether you're a parent or a teacher, find creative ways that you're comfortable with to let that other person know that they mean something to you. So then we go to the next level. All of us, we need to feel good about ourselves. And I remember some of the kids, they said, no, I'm no good at math, I'm no good at English, I'm no good at sports, I'm not good at anything. And I would say, well, how about if you could get a glass of water like this, do you think you could move it maybe 6 inches? I go, well, what does that have to do with being successful? I says, well, how about if I take you down to the rest home, let's take a walk and take a look in some of those rooms. They got those little tables with the little pictures, and usually all they have for their day is to look out the window. You take a child in there with low self-esteem, and all they got to do is move that water pitcher or the water to the person, watch them light up, and that child have a different opinion of how they feel about themselves. So a lot of us sometimes are swimming upstream when you're going the wrong direction. You know, sometimes you got to turn around and go the other way. Find the stereo music where we're appreciated. If it happens to be a rest home or helping the child next door to give them their ball that came over the fence, look for those opportunities to bring light into another person's life. The self-esteem will be there. And then all of a sudden, you become a rock star, you're a superstar, you're an ASB director, you're somebody with a title. All your needs are being met, but at the very pinnacle, it's time to give back. And when you're driving in your Cadillac down that road and you look at that child sitting there with a ring neck Fruit Loop t-shirt, just like down and out, hey, sometimes maybe just roll down the window and say, hey, have a nice day. Something to try to start turning things around for somebody. Anyway, I hope I didn't talk too long. I just wanted to share a few words of wisdom that have been shared with me from teachers in the past. It's a three-legged stool. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ayala. Next we go to Board Clerk, Ms. Dina Walker.
Ms.
Miss.
So just to say, first thing, I applaud, and I know that the students have left the room now, but applaud the students for coming and delivering their student voice to the deliberations that we have to make, and the administrators as well that we have to do. So this past Friday, I was part of that interview panel, as well as Linda Silva from CSEA. And what came about was the opportunity for more students to have access to the position. And as the students talked about it, we just encouraged them. I was like, well, if that's what you feel, you need to come and let us know what your opinions are. And they said they'd be here, and I was like, oh, okay, you know. And they all showed up, and it was great. So just accolades to the students and the administrators and advisors that to support those student leaders. Because leadership does come in all kinds of forms and fashions, and we want to make sure the students understand that we know and we support that as well. The next thing about leadership, REA, I am so glad to hear that the investment that you all are putting into yourselves. They say great masters stay great. Why? Because they invest in themselves. They put money back into their development so that they continue to be great. And we have a great bunch of teachers here. Glad to hear what you're doing, and I hope one of those trips you guys can maybe invite us, like the Queen Mary vacation trip. I don't know. I'd like to be professionally developed as well. So, but thank you, REA, for your investment in each other. Just a great thing. And lastly, just to say, this Friday is our Dad's Night Out with Rialto Unified, and it'll be sponsored by the Parent Center, but it'll be at Eisenhower. I believe it starts at 5:30 this Friday night. And for those who are participating, and there'll be some speakers and the whole shebang, but those who are participating as well, they have opportunity to go into the Eisenhower football game. But if I don't see you before the next 2 weeks and you'd like to show up on Friday, I will see you at Eisenhower on Friday at 5:30. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Walker. Next we go to our very own board vice president, Mrs. Nancy O'Kelly.
Well, Dina stole all my thunder here. I too want to thank the students for coming and voicing their opinion, and I think they have an excellent idea with the food fairs and whatever, and I definitely want to be invited wherever they have In and Out, okay? You know, the Dad's Night this Friday is great. I guess they're going to do some things ahead of time, and then the games usually start at 7 o'clock, so you sit and stay for the football game. I went to a Dad's Night, I think it was either last year or 2 years ago. It was wonderful. They had a wonderful speaker, and it was a lot of fun. I'm not a dad, but, you know, it was cool to be there anyway. So, and I also am very, very proud that the union put money aside for professional development for their teachers. I think that's a wonderful idea. And we all have to keep growing, and it's fun to learn and see what other new techniques and methods are out there. So kudos to REA. Yeah. And I didn't know Mr. Ayala was an animal abuser, you know, picking on these kittens and everything. But I'll try to work on him and fix that. And that's all I have tonight. Thanks.
Thank you, Mrs. O'Kelly. All right, let's see here. Well, why don't I start up with an announcement? Let's see here. I have a flyer that I'll be leaving here for the district. Maybe we can make some copies. I was given this by one of the representatives for Congresswoman Norma J. Torres of the 35th Congressional District, which represents Bloomington, Chino, Fontana, Montclair, Ontario, Pomona, and Rialto. She's going to be holding a U.S. Service Academies Information Night. Representatives from the U.S. Service Academies will be present to answer questions about the admissions process, learn how you can earn a Bachelor of Science degree and receive free college tuition, free books, free health coverage, free room and board. That'll be held Wednesday, September 2nd, 2015 from 5:30 p.m. to 7:30 p.m. at the Hill Auditorium at the Chaffee Joint Union High School District. The address is 211 West 5th Street in Ontario. If anyone is interested, you can get more information or RSVP to phone number 909-481-6474. And I don't know if we can share this on the district website or not, or maybe just hold copies here. If anybody calls and is interested, maybe we can forward them this information. But I did want to read some additional information that was sent to me. Each member, for the upcoming event, each member of Congress has the opportunity to select one student and write a letter of recommendation and possibly have the chance to receive a grant of up to $350,000, which would cover room and board, healthcare, tuition, books and supplies. So this is a great way for those who are interested in the military to ask questions regarding the application process. This is open to parents and students focusing from middle school to high school. And they want to make sure that students and teachers are aware of all the great opportunities that are coming up from their office. So I'll be leaving that here for the district in case anyone is interested in that information. I did also want to announce the upcoming Parent Summit will be held Saturday, October 17th at Rialto High School this year. Seems like we've been rotating it back and forth from Rialto High School and Carter High School. I don't think we've held it yet at Eisenhower, but maybe in the future we can. But regardless of where it's held, all of the schools, the school staff, The administrations are always very welcoming and always do a really good job. District personnel does a really good job in facilitating, along with the site staff, the parent summit. So just wanted to let everyone know that that's planned for Saturday, October 17th at Rialto High School. And I did also just want to congratulate everybody again who worked tirelessly, worked really hard, went to the meetings, went to the community forums regarding the LCAP. You know, so for all of the school staff, the district admin, the site admin, I know the unions were involved, everyone involved, board members went to some of the meetings and get-togethers and worked really hard. Kudos to everybody. The LCAP plan was approved by the county superintendent of schools, so and also by our very own former employee here, who is now the director of LCAP at the county level, Mrs. Robin MacGyver Brown. So big thanks to them. Big thanks to everybody again who worked on that so hard. I just did want to comment regarding the student board members. I keep getting asked, hey, when are we getting a student board member? When are we getting a student board member? And it's taking longer than we expected here on the board. But when it is completed, it will actually have gone through the proper protocol, following the proper policy. Now, what I've just recently heard is that, and even from students suggesting that we might want to broaden the scope of the students that are eligible, because I believe currently right now only ASB students are eligible for the student board position, and perhaps the district and the school board might consider broadening that to allow other leaderships to qualify for that, for the student board member. So I don't know if it might be another meeting or two, I don't know, but when we get that person, it's going to be very well worth the wait, because it will have actually gone through the proper process, and they'll be elected by their own peers. So just be a little more patient. We'll get one soon. The regarding the school food fair, I don't think anyone has a problem with it here at the district or at the school sites, as long as we're abiding by, you know, ed code and health code. You know, I don't know how to make enchiladas, but if I make some, you know, I don't want anybody to get sick, you know. So if people want to sell food, I'm all for it. I mean, some people, every time my family or friends make some really good food, I tell them, you should sell this stuff. It's really good. It's good enough to sell, you know. But you know, if you know, not to knock anyone, but if we're gonna have students and people of the community selling homemade food or food that they themselves are cooking or making, you know, there might be a process that has to be followed that's a little bit more.
This would be calling in companies like Chipotle and In-N-Out to come to the schools, not homemade.
Well, I mean, just in case, you know, I mean, you know, when we say food fair, at some of our events, we have homemade food that is sold, so we want to make sure that, you know, any of the food that is sold is you know, up to health code and you know, and ed code. So one of the students mentioned a certain policy or a certain code, ed code, or I believe I heard her mention a certain law. So
Well, yeah, everything we sell has to be within the health guidelines. So they're asking for 2 days a year to kind of go outside of those health guidelines.
Well, that brings me back that we want to make sure we're abiding by what's legally, you know.
The problem is they're trying to fundraise, and you don't make money selling that.
And that's all I have for tonight. I just want to thank everybody here tonight, and we look to get through this agenda pretty quickly. And if nobody else has any more comments, we'll go ahead and start. Okay. Public hearing. Do we have a motion to open public hearing?
So
Move.
moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any person wishing to speak on the items on the public hearing agenda will be granted 3 minutes. Item 1, public hearing, public textbook and instructional materials programs. Is there anybody here tonight that would like to speak regarding public textbook and instruction materials programs? There's a reference D 1.1 in the agenda. Hearing none, do we have a motion to close, going once, going twice? Hearing none, do we have a motion to close public hearing?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries.
And we're opening it again.
We're going to be opening public hearing for another item under D2. Do we have a motion to open public hearing, inviting comments regarding the Rialto Unified School District Solar Shade Structure Project? Reference D 2.1. Do we have a motion to open public hearing?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak regarding this item? Hearing none?
I'd like to just make a quick comment. Thank you, Mr. Islam, for making this a possibility. I know that you and I discussed it, and you went through many, many companies, and I think you did a fine job in finding the right company, the right match for us. Just wanted that on the record. Thank you, personally.
I think we all owe Mr. Islam big thanks. This has been, even not just for all of the board members on this board, but even before we got on this board, previous board members had also had a vision to one day start changing over to renewable energy. And going solar is definitely, it's always been a long time goal and dream here at RUSD. So thank you for taking the initiative to helping us finally get that going. So we all owe you thanks.
One thing, I thank you, board, for your support. Without your support, we could not get there. At the same time, so we have a representative guys here tonight. I want to recognize Brandon. Would you please stand and say hello to our board? They're from Sun Edison and Robin Park. They're here. If board, you may have anything you would like to ask. The two gentlemen is here tonight regarding the project. And we're also planning groundbreaking event. Once the schedule, you'll all be invited. It will be a great event for our Rialto community and Rialto Unified School District. We should all be proud of it.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Islam.
Thank you for the
And thank
partnership.
you, gentlemen, for joining us here tonight. We don't have a very, very big crowd and line of people here to ask or tell you guys anything, but I think everyone here at this district and here tonight is very happy for conversion to renewable energy and your help. So thank you. Any questions, anybody? No? All right. Do we have a motion to close public hearing?
So moved.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next are consent calendar items. All items on the consent calendar will be acted upon in one motion unless pulled by the Board of Education members or the superintendent for individual action. Can we get a motion to approve consent calendar items reference E through J?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next we go to agenda items K, discussion action items, and these by law I will be reading these individually one at a time. We'll be taking action. The first item K1 is to adopt a resolution number 1610, pupil textbook and instructional materials programs update. The reference is K1.1 through 2 in the back. Do we have a motion?
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Do we have discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item is to ratify an agreement with San Bernardino Community College, Valley Campus College, to establish a college-level Spanish 101 course at our 3 high schools, Carter, Eisenhower, and Rialto High Schools, and the additional expenses including books commencing August 18th, 2015 and ending December 31st, 2015. And that is item K2. Do we have a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
Thank you.
Discussion. So my question just, and I know Dr. D'Souza is not here, so if anybody can answer just the question for is this our first college level course being offered for foreign language in our district? Is anybody doing?
You want Veronica to come in?
Good evening.
Good evening, Board of Education. And can you repeat your question, please?
Is this our first college level course that we'll be offering at the high schools in foreign language?
Yes, in foreign language, but this is the second class the students have had the opportunity to take.
Okay, so that was my second question was, is this only for the students who are going to be participating in the middle college program, or is this class open to general student body for the college level?
Well, last year there was a middle college prep academy
Right.
established. We haven't implemented a full middle college program yet.
Okay.
So that cohort of students actually went through a process where they were identified, they applied, and they were selected. So for this next class that we just offered, we were still operating with that same cohort of students.
Okay. So this class is just specific to those kids that came in that 9th grade cohort.
Right,
for
that
the
were actually,
partnership.
yes, and we were actually able to extend it to other students that did not take the first class, but they were still part of the cohort of students.
Okay.
So there's a large number of students that we're pulling from that were identified for the program.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. That's my question.
Any other questions? All right, hearing none. Do we have we have a first and a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item is K3, approve a memorandum of understanding with the City of San Bernardino to provide 1 part-time school resource officer to serve Rialto High School beginning August 27th, 2015 through June 30th, 2018. The reference in the back is K3.1. Do we have a motion to approve item K3?
So move.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Thank you.
Well, I'm a big fan of the SRO program, and I think it's excellent, and I think it's something that we need, their presence and their proactive approach to dealing with the situations we run into at the schools. However, I do not agree with stationing them, as it said in the write-up, at the district security office. I definitely believe that the SROs, when their day starts, they need to be on the campuses. The ones that are for high school and middle school, they can have a high school that they pretty much report to, and then go out to the middle schools as they are needed or something like that. But if they're hidden away at the district security office, we don't have the proactive presence that we want to establish with our students. So that was the one part of this I did not agree with. I also had a couple other questions about this. Has the district, I've been through working with SROs, and never have I seen like expectations that were jointly agreed upon by the district and the police department. And I think that is very much needed. Even little things like, if an SRO is basically assigned to your campus, are they allowed to leave to go to police business? If they're supposed to be a school resource officer, things like that. And the principals don't know. We don't know how to handle these situations when the officers say, I've got to go here, I've got to go there, and then they're off your campus, and that defeats the whole purpose of having them. So those were my questions or my concerns about that. Definitely love the program. I'm very much in favor of it, but I don't want them hidden away down on Willow. I want them out on the campuses and where the kids are, and creating a strong presence.
I just want to comment. I believe the resource officers will need a desk or a room, or at least somewhere where they can probably write reports, fill out certain type of paperwork if needed. So I'm guessing the security office, or one of the places down at the security office building, is available for them to do so. But I can understand Ms. O'Kelly's concern. The items do assign certain resource officers to certain schools, to serve certain schools. So I think that takes care of where they're going to be at. But I'm assuming that maybe Chief Leary can share with us exactly what the process or the plan is. But I could be wrong. I don't know.
Good evening, Board of Education and Superintendent. In regards to the question of where they will be stationed, all of them will be stationed at the designated school sites, beginning with the high schools. The additional officer for Rialto will be one that will be serving the middle schools. So he won't have a particular school that he's stationed at, because he will be responsible for responding to all 5 of the middle schools. But in regards to the high schools, like Rialto High School, that officer will be stationed at that school site. Carter and Eisenhower, the officers will be stationed at those school sites.
I only questioned because that's not the way it's written in the agenda.
And I think that language is there because of the fact that they will be directed as far as any additional deployments or any other additional responsibilities that I may ask of them to do. It will be coming out of my office, out of the Safety and Security Office. But as far as their day-to-day assignments, that part hasn't changed. As far as how you've known it to be in the past, it's still that way.
Okay.
Yeah, and I assume if if they're in the patrol car and the car zooms by them at 100 miles per hour, we can only expect them to stop them or pull them over.
Right.
We can't get mad at them for that. But does anyone have any other questions?
I just have one other question. What is the Operation Clean Sweep citation program?
Operation Clean Sweep is a program that was started through the Sheriff Department, and it's for infractions, minor infractions that occur on our campuses that our students may commit. These are less than felonies and misdemeanors that students may commit. It originally began with being implemented through our administrators, who were authorized and deputized through the Sheriff Department to write those minor infractions, and then after time passed, it became a responsibility that was also given to our officers as well.
So you said it's not a felony,
Not
which I would assume it would not be.
Non-felonies
Not a
and
felony, non-misdemeanor.
and then
but
minor infractions.
Minor infractions, but we're writing them a citation.
Right.
That then does that record then go onto the police department, or is that for our own records that stay in district, meaning having no penalty to the student or adjudicated at all outside of our school?
That would go on that student's record if that citation, because all citations, we're serving as proctors. The school district will serve as a proctor for writing clean sweep citations. No citation has any authority if it's not signed off by a local law enforcement agency or an officer from that agency. That officer, we're acting, in a sense, we're acting as a liaison with that department and the school district. If the officer feels or has determined that the nature of the offense does not warrant a citation, or because in many instances the principal can make that determination that the citation is unwarranted, then no citation will be submitted.
Okay.
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 So I would like to speak with you about that later.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
Okay.
And Dr.
Any other
Avila
questions?
as well.
Thank you, Chief Leary. If nobody else has any more questions.
Chief,
Yeah.
regarding the SROs, who will they, organization tree-wise, who do they report to for, can I leave campus? Who do they call in sick to, that kind of thing?
Their first obligation is to their department. Because they are law enforcement officers, that obligation remains with their department. But in terms of their day-to-day responsibilities, if it's something in relationship to the school district, that would come through my office.
Yeah, I just would like to remind the board that it's an MOU, essentially, that a memorandum of understanding. We're not essentially hiring them as employees of the district, or have that type of authority but it's a memorandum of understanding.
Yes.
where mutually responsibilities are shared between the district and the PD, these specific resource officers. So thank you for the clarification.
Okay,
Thank you, Chief.
Any other questions?
Anybody else?
Thank you.
Thank you. So with that, all in favor to approve item K3?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries.
You need to call for other abstentions. Abstention.
On item K3,
That would be on the SROs.
Yeah.
that's
That would be it.
that's K3
For San Bernardino's, the partnership.
yeah,
San
for the
Bernardino
city.
City?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So
Abstention.
one abstention.
Yes.
Okay. And then we'll go on to K. So that's 4-1, one abstention. We'll go on to K5. Ratify.
Four. K4.
I'm sorry, K4, ratify an amendment number 1 to the memorandum of understanding with the city of Rialto to provide 2 school resource officers to serve all high schools and middle schools within the district effective July 1st, 2015 through June 30th, 2017.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Martinez, Mrs. O'Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstention.
And one abstention. Next, we go to K5, ratify a memorandum of understanding with the city of Rialto to provide 1 school resource officer to serve all middle schools within the district effective July 1st, 2015 through June 30th, 2017. Reference K5.1. Do we have a motion to approve?
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And 4 yeas and 1 abstention. Next, we go to K6, approve one-time general funds to pay off the current outstanding obligation for the 2011 through 2012 early retirement incentive programs. Reference K6.1. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Thank you, Mr.
Second.
Allen, Ms. O'Kelly. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And that's unanimous 5-0. Last but not least, we go to item K7, approve the recommendations of the administrative hearing panel, stipulated case number 141564, and reinstatement hearings for case numbers. Do I have to read all of these? I believe
I wish
believe
you
I
wouldn't.
Somebody else want to take the turn?
I'll do it. You want me to do it? Okay, for reinstatement hearings for case numbers 141535, 141529, 141528, 141526, 141519, 141508, 1415 131492, 131480, 131468, 131446, 131444, 121384, 121379, 121366, 121361, and 1112-118.
Thank you. That was pretty good.
That was real good.
I would have messed up. I would have tripped at least 3 or 4 times right there. Do we have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Mine is an aye for the reinstatements and a no for the stipulated case number.
So it's fine.
So that's
Yeah, nay on the stipulated,
and yes on the reinstatements.
yes on the reinstatement hearings, yes.
So it's 3-2 on the stipulated.
Mm-hmm.
5-0 on the reinstatements and 3-2 on the stipulated. Did you get that, Rosie? Okay. Item L. Student board member, could we get a preference? Oh, no, we can't. We can't. No,
You try.
we gotta wait. We gotta wait. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move to adjourn this meeting. At
Second.
8:13
Yes,
p.m.
and could we adjourn that?
In the honor.
Dr. D'Souza's.
Dr. D'Souza's
yes.
mom, in memory of his mom?
Yes, normally, just for clarification, normally, we, email, and notify all of the employees, and staff members, when there's a, death in the RUSD family. In this particular, for this particular, situation, one of, our, associate superintendents, who's not here tonight, just recently lost his mother yesterday. So, you know, not an RUSD employee, but definitely, you know, somebody that we all here knew and got to meet. And our prayers and our thoughts, condolences go out to the D'Souza family for their tremendous loss. Yes, just recently yesterday. And with that, we'll go ahead and adjourn in Mrs. D'Souza's memory. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. This meeting's adjourned, 8:15.